Ms. Kingsley, are you there? Where? Oh, there you are. Oh,
Yes, I'm here.
okay. All right. Where are we now in this case?
Your Honor, as you may recall, this is our third hearing. We were here 2 weeks ago. Court entered an escrow order for $858, which was the prorated amount for January, continuing requirements for the months going forward. I'm not sure if there's anything in escrow.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
She's put in, I think $111.11 was done on January 8th.
Okay.
And then I have January 10th, $780.
So that will
She put
actually,
on that date.
that sounds like it would actually exceed the prorated that may also be February's rent then as well. That would have been paid because Your Honor ordered the prorated at $858.
Correct. I ordered it prorated at $858. That's been done.
$980 continuing going forward. So I
Right.
assume
And
that
so that's part of what would be the February if it's, so the escrow order's been complied
Okay.
with.
Your Honor, ordered an answer be filed and served. One never came to my office. I'm not sure if it was mailed. The court did provide me a copy. I was able to contact the clerks and they were.
I've received the answer that was filed, and Kingsley, you have to, was it on the 12th or something along those lines?
I did file an answer by the line, which was the, well,
Well, you broke up there, but you did it by the 12th. She did it on time.
yes, Your
I
Honor.
believe so, yeah. Again, it didn't come to my office, but the clerks were nice enough to send me a copy. The answer that I received, though, doesn't seem to actually respond to the complaint. I don't believe we have a triable issue here either. With the portions of this answer that exist here, the defendant is admitting that she's not paying the rent. The court may remember this is a complaint to recover possession. There were 2 notices sent, failure to pay the rent as well as the health and damage. We had a prior case that was dismissed in November that my client had filed improper that had some notice provision issued, but the problem was the destruction of the property. The police reports were attached to our complaint. It's the plaintiff's contention that the defendant destroyed the property. The police reports indicate that breaking windows, throwing garbage along the property. It seems to be that her defense to not paying rent going forward or having withheld rent is to say that the property is not in good standing. The problem is that she caused the damage to the property. And this continues on. My clients haven't been able to get into the property, any repairs, do any maintenance. The last time my client's husband, who helps to manage the property, went over to the property, he was accosted. There was coffee thrown in his car and he was screamed at. At this point, this is just continuing on. We do really need a judgment, Your Honor, for possession at this point. The answer I received was a 2-page answer. There was attachments that included text messages and some
Right,
images.
but
Doesn't seem to address all of the counts. It also includes affirmative defenses that would be applicable, rescission, that the contracts were not expressed and written, mutual mistake, not enforceable because of improper contact, fraud, or duress. She's not disputing that there's a lease here. She signed the lease.
But part of the issue, at least as I see it, and Ms. Kingsley, correct me if I'm wrong, is at least as I look through her answer, there is. Well, let me put it this way. Plaintiff, I would agree with you with regard to certain allegations or answers that are made in the answer. That I don't have a problem with. But Ms. Kingsley, you had referred to on the second page of your answer, you had referred to police reports. You referred to them kind of in the negative because you said police reports don't show that I have been released without charges, or I think I read that to mean that police reports would show that I haven't been charged with anything.
Yes, I would agree with that materially. I have been charged. I have some of the allegations that's contained in the police report that there was police interaction. I don't have any pending charges. I was never charged.
Okay, I got you. I just wanted to make sure I was reading it correctly. So,
And Your Honor, I
do you
apologize. I don't
have-
that page of the answer? The only two
Pardon?
pages, I don't have that portion that the court is referring to, just so the court is aware. The only thing I had received was what looks like page 1. And then a second page that was marked just affirmative defense. I don't know if there is a second page to the answer.
Oh,
I mailed by certified mail to Attorney Bagnet's listed address. So if you haven't received it yet,
no, that's okay. Ms. Kingsley, here's what was happening. We got the answer. He called the court to see if you had filed one. We told him yes. So we were trying to send it to him so that we could do something today. I think what happened is your, when you filed your answer, and not necessarily anything improper, it's two-sided. So I think when we scanned it in, we didn't get the other side of the page.
oh, I see. Yes. there
You
were
follow
double-
me?
Those are the copies I made that I emailed to him.
Him,
So I can give all
okay.
those to him because we're not doing anything.
Right, but I don't know that this solves part of the problem. This is, pardon?
Could you receive that portion of the email?
No, here, come here for a second. Here's what happened. So Kingsley filed this, that's this page. Problem is, I got it back. And that's what I was referring to, and then council didn't get that, and there's back to this one, which said see attached, which means Kingsley attached the
All that.
attachments, and that didn't get there.
Which very well may just be one page that I'm missing, Your Honor, and I,
Well, I think you're probably missing 2 pages,
okay,
only because there's a back to the answer that Ms. Kingsley filed, and then there's a back to the affirmative defense.
understood.
So there are 2 pages that are missing. All right.
Regardless, I don't think that changes, at least our position, Your Honor, that I don't think there's a triable fact here that a judgment is, should be entered at this point and that a trial wouldn't be needed.
Well, but I would view some of what's been said by Ms. Kingsley as at least counterclaims, and you may be right ultimately in the end that there isn't a tribal issue as counterclaims, but I think I need an answer to the counterclaims.
So those were asserted as counterclaims on that second page?
I see. I read them as her claims as against the landlord, as opposed to just defensive. And I may be wrong in terms of how I'm reading this. But some of them, for example, and I'm not sure that it would lead to anything, but there was a refusal for disabled parking, which I would view in the area of a counterclaim, whether it can be substantiated or not, or whether or not it is an issue. I don't know, but I'm looking at just on the face of what Ms. Kingsley's filed.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do, folks. We're gonna make sure, Ms. Kingsley, we're gonna make sure that he has the backside of the paperwork. You've sent it already to him, so he's gonna get that copy. But we'll make sure that that happens today too, okay?
yes,
And
Your Honor.
then I'll need a response to the answers and counterclaims. I think that's the
Understood.
safest way to do it. And then I can set this either for February 2nd or the 16th.
The second, Your Honor, would be fine, if that's okay with the court.
All right. Ms. Kingsley, will that work for you as a second?
May we do the 16th, Your Honor? I have some medical,
I'm sorry, you're breaking up on me.
the 16th would be ideal, Your Honor.
Your Honor, my only concern is, again, we've dragged this out a long time, I understand.
And I have,
You broke up on me. You start talking and then I lose you.
I apologize. I just wanted to assert that I have paid into escrow and there are tribal issues.
No, I got you. No, the escrow thing we got on there. Let me adjourn it February 16th, 2024 at
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay, and then you'll have all that paperwork. We'll all be straight and then we can figure out where we're gonna go from there. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
You do the same. All right.